Hey there, Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. I'll get in nice and close so I can do a really good, let's see, where's the camera? I think it's right over here. I gotta smile at the camera to do like a really good thumbnail. That's probably a really creepy thumbnail, but I wanted to catch up on some of my feedback sessions. I'm printing out my comment log here, so these are all the comments and Facebook messages and tweets and people asking me questions about audio video technology, making my way through them here. So this goes back to September 11th, 2015. This is from Michael on YouTube, and he is asking a question on the homemade subkick video, which I titled it Homemade Subkick because we had somebody bring in a homemade subkick and we hooked it up to the system. It didn't really sound very good, and I've never done a homemade subkick before, although I know what they are. They're just a microphone that's essentially a speaker that's to give you a really big diaphragm so you can catch the low end energy that are these bigger wavelengths. So you're just basically catching changes in sound pressure with essentially a speaker that's being used in reverse as a microphone, or a transducer, if you will. So anyway, that's the whole idea with a subkick. Kind of a specialized low-end microphone. But this is from the Live Sound Report video. So this comment came in under the Live Sound Report or media report for January 18th, 2015 on the Volunteer Tech Vlog. And Michael says, my kit had to be set up behind a 4-foot wall where the old organ used to be. The kick faces the inside corner of this wall, which somewhat destroyed the kick resonance. Now the kick sounds very dead. I'm building a subkick in hopes of being able to engineer some subtle resonance to the kick. How would just suspending the sub speaker directly inside the kick drum result? My goal is just to create a little resonance and pipe that to the house speakers. Hopefully no one will know the kick is then mic'd, or suddenly the older farts will complain it's too loud if they know about it. I hear you on that one. What would the effective difference be if the sub speaker is suspended inside the kick versus a fully do-it-yourself sub kick mounted to the outside of the kick? So that is Michael's question. And when did it come in? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I've already covered that. It came in on September 11th. So anyway, today I'm just getting to doing another feedback session. Let me fix my mirror here before I go driving off the road. And so I'm catching up here. So he's got a couple of things he mentioned there. The subkick. First thing I got to say about that is I'm not hugely experienced with subkicks, so I'll say that right off the bat. However, I know what their intended purpose is for. The one that I used, or the one that I have experience with, didn't sound very good, but again, it was a homemade one. The microphone sounded better than the subkick that I used. So your big question is, so let me reiterate kind of where you're at. So you've got the drum kit behind a 4-foot wall, and from what I gather, it's packed in a very tight location, and it's hard to give the kick drum enough room to breathe, if you will, because when we talk about sound and sound reinforcement, all sound is changes in air pressure, right? You've got changes in pressure, and if you've got the head of the drum, which moves when the beater hits it, the head of the drum moves in and out. If that's tucked right up against a wall, there's going to be some resistance on that drum head moving if it's tucked right up against some sort of wall. So I think you're accurately gauging the situation by, trying to bring that up. My concern is that even if you suspend a microphone inside, with like a long-reaching mic stand that can go inside the port of that drum head and suspend a mic inside. That is a technique that I've seen used before. I haven't done a whole lot with miking the inside of a drum, but my concern is that even if you do that, the musical properties or the characteristics of this drum is still going to be impacted by the fact that there's a wall very close to the head of the drum that's impacting the sound. So even if you were to do that, you might be unimpressed with the results in this quest for getting more resonance. That's how you've described it. I don't know. I guess I can't really tell you, do X, Y, or Z, and that will sound good, because I would have to experiment and use my ears and maybe block off 2 hours of time and get somebody in there that can just hit that beater repeatedly and listen with headphones, listen in the room. Trying to think what I would do. Yeah, maybe spend maybe not 2 hours, maybe just take like an hour and a half or something like that, and get somebody in there to just hit that bass drum and just try different mic locations, or get an assistant. So here's what I would do. I would get 2 people, and I'd say, hey, we gotta get this figured out. Let's come in when the church is empty and we can do some experimentation, because you can do anything as long as you have enough time and money, right? So as long as you've got the time to do it and you've got a couple friends, get somebody up there beating on the drum, get somebody out there as an assistant microphone placement person, and basically say, okay, let's try 5 microphone placements, and let's see if you can get the drum sounding good without buying anything new, by just miking it inside, maybe miking the beater side, maybe miking the front, try right in front of the sound hole, try all different places. And make sure you have the drum tuned too. Make sure you got somebody who knows how to tune a drum kit and how to adjust, has a tuning key, and they know how to crank down the drum heads equally around the drum there, so that I think I don't really know how to tune a drum, so I'm just kind of speaking outside my mouth here, but from when I've seen experienced people tuning drums, they do a lot of tweaking to make sure that that drum head is pulled or stretched tightly, with the same amount of pressure kind of all around the drum. And maybe there's different nuances where you want it to be looser on one side. I can't really speak to that, I'm not a drummer, but definitely get somebody in there who knows how to tune a drum and have them get that drum sounding really good in a free space environment, like out in the middle of the room, and then put it into this enclosure where you're at, and sound is going to be impacted, as you have alluded to, and then I just spend a lot of time with different mic placements, and again, have that assistant there, and then you be out in the room listening as you're doing different mic placements, or you can run up and change the placement and run back and listen, and a frequency analyzer might be a good thing, so you can kind of see as you're moving the mic to different places in the room, or moving the mic to different locations around that drum. You can also have your eye on a real-time frequency analyzer to kind of see, hey, if I put the mic here, I get a huge bump at 200. Or if I put the mic here, it's actually, resonance. Depending on where that mic is, you're going to get different sounds, and that's probably the best advice I could give you. I don't know if that helps, but I always like trying to optimize what I've got without buying anything if I can avoid it. I mean, it's always fun to buy new gear, and especially new gear where it's called a subkick. Subkick, I need one of those, but you might not need one. It might not actually help you out all that much. So anyway, let me know if that helps you out, Michael. Sorry it took so long to get back to you. My name is Nate with the Volunteer Tech Vlog. I'll see you in the next video.